So I got some crazy information. NIO's ET5 and ET5T have outsold the Model 3 here in China. Yeah, pretty crazy. All right. And of course, NIO's still a bit far from outselling the Model Y. The Model Y is still the best delivering vehicle here in China in terms of monthly sales, pretty much. It's very popular, but NIO has claimed the victory over the Model 3 with the ET5 and ET5T. Of course, the ES6 is a tier higher in terms of price and a little bit different in terms of luxuriousness, but definitely the Envo L60 is something that's going to go head on with the Model Y. So we can definitely look forward to that. But here are the numbers to look at in terms of deliveries. Also, we're going to look at deliveries for each vehicle model. We haven't done this in quite a while. All right, and we're going to see what the trajectory is for each vehicle model. So this is going to be a video packed with information. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. All right, let's dive into the numbers. So in the month of April, Model 3, they only delivered 5,065 vehicles here in China. ET5 plus ET5T, NIO delivered 6,710 vehicles. So roughly about 1,700-ish more than the Model 3. Now, of course, NIO's still a ways off from getting to Model Y numbers, which they delivered 26,356 vehicles in April. That's pretty spectacular numbers for Tesla. Now, let's look at the market in general. All right, here we got the Model Y versus the iTool M7, which is a EREV, how it's doing in terms of deliveries here in China. You can tell that EVs are actually more favored now, and the iTool M7 has been falling off quite substantially and sort of plateauing. So one could argue that EVs are more of a favor. And remember that at the end of March, that's when you had the launch of the Xiaomi SU7. So ever since then, EVs have really gotten more in favor. Okay, now let's jump into NIO's numbers. So the first chart I want to show you is ES6 delivery numbers all the way up to May 2nd. And you can tell that we had a period of down in January, but here clearly since April, now in May, we've just jumped much higher. All right, in May deliveries are looking to be much higher than April deliveries. Cool. Now the ET5 and ET5T has an even more substantial increase. Look at that. So here we got April deliveries, and then here we got May deliveries. So May is actually, this first week of May, we saw more deliveries for ET5, ET5T than all the way back towards December, the 5th week of December, so the last week of the year. So that's pretty impressive in general. Just saying, pretty impressive. So hopefully these deliveries, well, I know for a fact these deliveries will continue to go higher because ET5 and ET5Ts are essentially sold out. All right, they've been sold out. And even if you want inventory car, you got to wait like 3 to 4 weeks. And you're hearing stories of how the sales reps are actually praying that they can get their customers a inventory car. No joke. They are seriously praying to get customer inventory cars. ES8 sort of chugging along, 201 per week, doing all right. Okay, not making new highs or anything like that. It's just doing okay. All right, it's just doing okay. Nothing too special. Now the 777, we had a really big peak when I guess this is when NIO sort of, they got a lot of these newer 2024 variant of the ET7s, but now it's just chugging along, 177 per week. That seems all right. It seems about fair for the 777. Obviously, the ES7 needs a major relaunch. Okay, it doesn't matter if they just add a new chip, new heads-up display. They need to redo the vehicle. So that's my personal take on that. But apart from that, the 777, 177 for 3 vehicles, still could not oversell ES8, which is just one vehicle, which is the most expensive vehicle. So that's something to think about, okay? But obviously the 777 is a lot more customized. It's a lot more personalized. The ET7, EC7, and ES7. Next, we have the EC6. The EC6, also following the trend of the ET5 and ET5T, making newer highs in deliveries. So this is like actually the highest weekly deliveries in 2024 that we've ever seen. 723, 499, 726. So this is pretty substantial. And we can definitely see these numbers go up. And I got a little surprise for you later on about the EC6. So stay tuned for that. So if we look at how vehicle models are doing relative to each other, so this is this chart right here, right? We have the ES6, ET5, ET5T, ES8, 777, EC6 in red. We can tell that NIO ES6 is still the #1 bestseller, all right, for NIO. And number 2 is ET5, ET5T. These are the main volume drivers. These are the cars that you see in the stores, all right? ET5, ET5T, and the ES6. You can always see these in stores, and if they choose to like show one or the other for the ET5, they might bring on the EC6, which is their #3 bestseller at 726 vehicles. And then you got the 777 and the ES8. These cars do get shown at NIO houses, but for smaller NIO stores, they usually don't get shown. It's usually just the volume drivers, ES6, ET5, and ET5T, or the EC6. Okay, moving on, looking at competitors. All right, so I actually compiled the data for competitors as well, and just looking at the numbers, Zeekr, all right, Zeekr 001, delivering a massive amount of cars, just crazy amount of cars. All right, yeah, it's very competitive. Their car is very competitive. But relatively speaking, you can see here's where NIO ES6, NIO ET5, and ET5T stand. And this is the BMW i3. So NIO ET5, ET5T outselling BMW i3. Also keep in mind that if you add ES6 and EC6 numbers, you get actually up towards Zeekr 001 numbers. Okay? EC6, very interestingly, outselling the BMW iX3. So it's actually selling more than that. Okay? And at the bottom, we have ES8 and 777. Looking at the market share wise, all right, NIO still has a 48% market share of the luxury EV market, which is very substantial. And one could argue that Zeekr doesn't really qualify because their cars aren't really over 300,000 RMB. But regardless, 48% market share, NIO always has like a 40+% market share. They are the best in terms of luxury EVs. They are the go-to in terms of luxury EVs. All right, so keep that in mind. Know that NIO has tremendous market share. And of course, with the mass market brand, that's really going to disrupt the 200K to 300K range as well with Envo. So deliveries are doing very good. ET5, ET5T outselling the Model 3. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.